Coming off a performance that maybe wasn't pretty, but it was effective. And is that just another development with the growth pattern with this team right now that you can find ways to win games even when you're not necessarily 100% all in on your game?
Well, it was a different way of winning. It wasn't freewheeling and a lot of offense. It was tight checking, somewhat patient. Not a lot of power play or penalty kill time, so everybody found a way to contribute. Solid goaltending. But the good news is we found a way to win.
We've heard a lot about Peter Chiarelli changing around the personnel a bit, and obviously the goaltending with Cam Talbot, how well defined Connor is. And I know you might want to play this down, but how much of this is just the continuity and maybe the group getting used to you and your staff, and you and your staff getting used to the majority of the players and some of the same system play being in effect and that sort of thing?
Well, it's always a little bit easier after you've been together for a year. You just think about your marriage at home. You learn how...
Mine got worse after a year.
I doubt that very much. But, you learn a lot about each other in a year. You learn how emotional individuals can be, how people are going to react in certain situations. You learn how to prepare and get ready for a game. You learn how to focus on certain areas and how you're going to be evaluated. And I think we're way further ahead in that area or that part of our game than we were last year at this time, and for obvious reasons. But the group has been very responsive. I've talked about boundaries last year. This year, the players are holding each other accountable. I think that's a sign of a good start and a lot of positivity around our team. And I'm glad that it's happening. I think you become a more powerful and impactful team when they start taking control of it.
Right now, teams can't get a P by Cam Talbot. Do you continue to ride that hot hand, or does there come a point where you want to sort of, you've got the time and the spacing in between games to keep going with them, but eventually you got to get Gustafsson into a game, don't you?
Well, we have to win games, and Gus is very capable of doing that. We're a firm believer, but obviously Cam is hot, and he'll be our go-to guy tomorrow here against Ottawa. And, as we head out on the road trip, it becomes a little more taxing as far as fatigue and wear and tear. And in Cam's case, he may get more rest on the road, thinking about the Twins at home. So We'll see how he is on a daily basis and make those decisions as we go forward.
Todd, are you seeing any progress with the end of games and getting that attitude and that hunger to close it out and get that other goal and closing out these wins?
Well, the attitude and hunger is always there. I don't know of a team, regardless of their record or their approach, that doesn't want to close a game out. It just so happens that the opposition gets to lay everything on the line. They can gamble and take chances. If you're down 2-1 and it ends up you lose the game 3-1, it's no big deal. You still lost the game. So the last 4 or 5 minutes in any situation, regardless of what team, is going to be a little bit harrowing. Harry, pardon me, and we're learning how to manage those situations. It starts with good goaltending. It starts with leadership and a calmness to the team, and we're starting to get that. We're starting to see it happen a little bit more.
Does the term defense by committee apply to this team?
Well, it's something that everybody has to play. Everybody has to be committed to it, and when we don't have the puck, we're doing everything we can to get it back, and I guess you can call that defensive play. But you play defense in the offensive zone as well by having good positioning there. So, and when your offensive leaders buy into it, it's a lot easier to sell to everybody else.
When it comes to keeping shots to the outside, I know Ken Hitchcock said that's something you did very well against St. Louis. And I know they had some point-blank chances last night, but do you feel like the team as a whole this season has done a really good job of keeping them on the perimeter?
Well, the way the game is played now and the approach that a lot of teams take is they're throwing pucks to the net from anywhere, and then they play off the pads and they look for rebounds and second chances. So every team's going to give up perimeter shots, and I'm okay with that. It's what we do in and around the blue paint on the secondary ones. And I think about Darnell Nurse last night in Vancouver. He prevented a goal from being scored against us because he had great body position. He had an awareness of where the opponent was, and he was still able to sweep the crease clean. So we're promoting that as much as we can, and it's an area that we need to improve on.
How's Darnell been, do you think? Is he able to calm his game down and not?
Yeah, I think Darnell's been fine. That pair has been very effective. They're physical, very good penalty killing. He's zeroed in and he's found a rhythm in his game right now, which allows him to be effective. Minutes are down a little bit, but responsibility is up, and I think that's important for him.
You see him as a penalty killer throughout his career, like that's what he's really good at.
Well, he's doing it well right now. I think as you get older and more experienced and feel better about your game, you take more tasks on. We probably started him with too many last year. We've narrowed it down to a few this year, and he's doing them very well. So as he gets better and gets more experience, we'll look at expanding it out. But right now he's focused on that and doing a good job.